Kaguya-sama Love is War, Stairway to Adulthood is sort of an impossible project. The first kiss that never ends finished the series on a satisfying note, bringing Miyuki and Kaguya together after so much back and forth. Now, 3 years later, you have an hour to tell a new story. If you haven't looked into the manga of Love is War, you might be surprised to know that the series as it stood adapted only about half of the manga. 3 seasons and a movie is only half of the available source material. Stairway to Adulthood's job is to take that back half and make something coherent out of it. And if all of that wasn't enough, it also has to tee up another movie to come out after this special, an entirely original story that will take place after the events of the manga. The fact that Stairway to Adulthood is not an unmitigated disaster is an achievement in and of itself. What's even more amazing is that it's good. Some of that is due to strong source material and just enjoying more time with these characters we know so well. But it also comes down to the structure that the special went for. A lot of people are hung up on the countless manga plotlines that got cut, and that's plenty fair. But I'm almost more interested in what got chosen for inclusion. There's basically 5 vignettes included in the special across its 2 episodes. Why these 5 specifically? After giving it a lot of thought, I think that the connecting thread is how each story gives attention to a different facet of change. Let's dig into that a bit, looking at each story in turn and how they tie into this larger theme. One of the more clever tricks the special has up its sleeve is framing everything as an older Kaguya reminiscing on old memories. It gives structure to what would otherwise be a collection of scenes put side by side. It also allows the cut manga storylines a little space in the form of photos in Kaguya's albums. Importantly, too, it immediately brings change to the front of our minds as an audience. This is not a Kaguya we've met before, and the home she's in is not familiar to us. By starting us in the future like this, it forces us to confront the main plots of the special as a bridge between where the series left off last and this version of Kaguya now. While we can get invested in the stories here, it's impossible to distance them from being in the past. I think that this might be the source of a lot of criticism of the special, making untold stories in the anime feel like old news. But from a framing perspective, the purpose is clear. In a meta way, it leans into the long gap between the last movie and this special, inviting us to think about how much has changed outside of Love is War in the interim. The OP for this special is built out of moments from seasons past, its own collection of memories, and another reminder of how much has changed. The first story in Stairway to Adulthood is about the student council playing a prank on Kaguya for her birthday. This is clearly early on into Miyuki and Kaguya dating, when they're still keeping it a secret from everyone else. This vignette is all about the changes in the group dynamic due to the new relationship. The entirety of the anime up to this point was about Kaguya and Miyuki keeping things from each other, too afraid and embarrassed to share their feelings. If anything, everybody else could see what was going on better than the main two. Here, everything has turned on its head. Kaguya and Miyuki are united in their secret, worried about it leaving their bubble. It's a new dynamic from which comedy and tension are born. Having Kaguya flirt with Miyuki at the conclusion is a perfect encapsulation of how much has changed. Even if the others don't know it yet, things are different. The second vignette from the special is about Kaguya and Miyuki spending a long night together talking on the phone. The change at play here has to do with their openness with each other. The climax of the first kiss that never ends had to do with Kaguya needing honesty in their relationship, and here we get to see a further extension of that. There's a level of comfort between our couple that is new, a desire to share mundane conversation just to keep hearing the other's voice. When neither wants to hang up, they continue the call, not worried about implications and underlying motives like they did through their entire courtship. They feel more like two normal teens in love than they ever have, just eager to spend time with each other however they can. The third story concerns shifts in Miyuki's family. While Miyuki's dad becoming a popular YouTuber is hilarious, it also accompanies some of the most concrete changes in the special. Miyuki's dad has a new career, the family can afford a new apartment, and Miyuki even gets his own room. More on that soon. Most of all, I think that this little side plot does some of the heaviest lifting when it comes to making it feel like time has really passed. Changes in relationships are moving and important, but the more tangible changes in space and time here are essential. I also just can't stress how funny this segment was. I'd almost forgotten in the interim how funny this show was. They just nailed the timing on the jokes. And then that little bit with Kay on the livestream felt like an excuse to flex the animation chops. Every movement and facial expression was crazy smooth and carefully considered. The fourth vignette is the big one, the centerpiece of the whole affair. On the surface, the connection between this story and change is obvious. Kaguya and Miyuki are spending the night together for the first time, having sex for the first time, leveling up their relationship in a way. All of these things are obvious changes in both their lives and their connection. But there's a deeper change at play here, one that Kaguya starts to unearth later on with Ai. This experience is representative of a larger shift for Kaguya and Miyuki. It's simultaneously a move towards adulthood and away from the old dynamic that the two of them had. It's couched in this over-the-top introspective language, but this night together is a firm push for the couple towards normalcy. Making Kaguya's big dramatic moment be her declaration that she wants to spend more time openly with Miyuki puts a fine point on this. For these two, acting normal, acting how they actually want to, is a big change. It's a funny moment that blends triumph with absurdity, which is part of the special formula of Love is War from the get-go. The fifth and final vignette involves Miyuki's departure for Stanford. The change is clear here. Miyuki is leaving his old life and his old friends behind. There's no undoing this change. But this story also goes out of its way to highlight the enduring parts of love and friendship. Kaguya flies over in the blink of an eye to see Miyuki when she oversleeps, and he is still able to video call into the old student council room when he can. Undercutting such a dramatic moment with a reminder that some things don't have to change is a fitting end. Sometimes things feel like life or death, all or nothing, but that's rarely how life actually is. More often, change is what we make it. And connection is a matter of effort more than circumstance. After 4 preceding stories about shifting landscapes, it's really sweet to end on such a hopeful note. And then to end the special with Miyuki coming home to Kaguya, and to see their love still alive and their lives intertwined as ever, it's a final reiteration of that message. Love is War, Stairway to Adulthood is just that. A stairway between where the anime left off and the new movie that we're getting. I completely understand why that is a problem for some people. I myself would have gladly taken another 3 seasons to cover what's left of the manga. But I also am an easy customer. Any extra time with this cast of characters is appreciated. And that hour of watching the special was some of the best 60 minutes of anime I watched all year. Most of all though, I want to look at Stairway to Adulthood for what it is, rather than what it isn't. And what I found was a special about change. Change in our characters' lives, relationships, goals, motivations, all of it. It's a little bittersweet to see it moving by so quickly, but I appreciate it all the same. Most of all, I just can't wait to see what comes next. And that ends this episode of Love and Anime. If you haven't read the manga, I would love to know if it made sense without the context. And if you have read the manga, I would also love to know what you thought too. If you enjoyed the video today, liking and subscribing helps a ton, as does hitting the hype button on the mobile app. I'm Slam Anime, and I'll see you next time.